Stravinsky composed his Fanfare for two trumpets during his third and last compositional period, when he became a serial and a 12-tone composer in his own way. This fanfare was composed to commemorate the opening of the newly constructed Lincoln Center in New York City. In its first performance, the two trumpet players were positioned on opposite sides of the balcony of what was then called the New York State Theater. The fanfare has many of the qualities of traditional celebratory fanfare, including rapid repeated notes, antiphonal imitation between the parts, and virtuosic display. The piece is based on what for Stravinsky was a standard quartet of series forms, a prime and an inversion starting on the same note, in this case A sharp, plus the retrograde and its inversion, IR, starting on the same note, in this case G. To this quartet, Stravinsky adds the retrograde of the inversion. Here's a recording of the whole piece. The 12-tone series can be thought of as generated from its first three notes, A sharp, A, B. If these are taken as a little three-note series, the remaining discrete trichords and one additional trichord nestled across the trichordal boundary are forms of it, related by inversion or retrograde inversion. Because all four discrete trichords are members of a single set class, 0, 1, 2, we find an extraordinary degree of invariance among the series forms. In fact, all of the series forms can be understood in terms of the same four trichords, although the notes within the trichords may vary. W, X, Y, and Z. The entire piece can be parsed into statements of these four trichords. The result is a constant sense of imitation between the parts. At the end of the piece, for example, the two series forms R and I are related by retrograde inversion, but the staggered disposition of trichords that are invariant between the lines produces a seemingly canonic effect. Throughout the piece, the lines simultaneously contrast serially and yet are virtually identified with each other motivically. The trichords combine to create forms of the chromatic hexachord 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the concluding passage, for example, chromatic hexachords can be heard both within and between the parts. The same thing is true throughout the piece. Chromatic hexachords are formed both within and between the two parts. Amid this highly chromatic serial and motivic activity, The piece maintains a consistent sense of centricity on A sharp. It is the first note and, supported constantly by C sharp, the last note of the piece. It is heard more often and longer than any other note. It often occurs at phrase boundaries, both beginnings and endings. It provides a focus, a point of departure and return for the motivic activity. Here's a final recording of the whole piece.